Above the vast ocean, beneath the dark blue waves, there is a machine. A machine so alien that it redefines everything we know about the apex predator. Not a great white shark, not a giant squid. It is a mammal, and it dares to attack prey 5 times its own body weight. Meet the killer whale, Orcas orca, the ruler of the ocean by intelligence, not by size. Its opponent? The sperm whale, Phasetta macrocephalus, a giant 45 metric tons, 18 meters long, armed with a lower jaw full of conical teeth, 20 centimeters long, the hardest in nature. So why would a 9-ton, 7-meter predator ever challenge such a beast? Because this fight is not about brute force. It is about something far stronger. The algorithm of survival. Look at the numbers first. An adult male killer whale, the largest ever recorded, is 9 meters long. Weight, about 9 metric tons. Maximum burst speed during an ambush, 30 kilometers per hour. What does that number mean in the ocean world? It can catch almost any prey, except the fastest fish, and it can maintain that speed for hours. Its opponent, the sperm whale, swims much slower. Normal traveling speed, only 8 to 10 kilometers per hour. Even when threatened, it can only accelerate to 15 kilometers per hour for short bursts. That means the killer whale is twice as fast. That speed difference decides everything. But speed is not everything. Look at the physical weapons. The killer whale has 40 to 56 teeth. Each tooth is about 7.5 centimeters long. They are sharp as blades, designed to tear flesh, not chew. When a killer whale bites, the force at the tooth tip can reach thousands of newtons. Enough to break a seal's ribcage or rip off a young whale's pectoral fin. In contrast, the sperm whale has teeth only on its lower jaw. The upper jaw has no teeth, only sockets. When it closes its mouth, the lower teeth fit perfectly into those sockets, forming a trap. But this is not an offensive weapon. It is defensive, or used for fighting other males during mating season. So where is the sperm whale's real weapon? At the back. Its tail, the horizontal fluke, up to 4 meters wide, powered by the strongest muscles in its body. Those muscles can generate enough force to lift the entire 45-ton body out of the water. And when it strikes down, the impact pressure is estimated to reach tens of thousands of pascals. One direct hit can break the bones of any attacker. There are recorded cases of sperm whales shattering the skulls of great white sharks with a single tail slap. And near-fatal injuries to killer whales as well. But killer whales know this. That is why they never attack from behind. They attack from the sides, from below, and from the front. They target the blind spots. That brings us to the second layer of this war, chemistry. When faced with a pod of killer whales, sperm whales do not rely only on their tails. They have a secret weapon, one that marine biologists call the ultimate defense superweapon. In March 2024, off the coast of Western Australia, a team of researchers recorded something never seen before. A pod of killer whales was harassing a group of sperm whales. The attack had lasted nearly 2 hours. The sperm whales, about 12 individuals, had formed their defensive circle. Then, suddenly, one adult female sperm whale turned 180 degrees. She released a cloud of dark red liquid, spreading like an underwater fireball. Her intestinal waste, mixed with undigested squid ink, because sperm whales feed on up to 90% squid. That cloud spread over dozens of meters, and instantly, the entire killer whale pod, about 30 animals, fled. They did not return for the next 30 minutes. Scientists call this phenomenon the poonami, the poop tsunami. But do not misunderstand, this is not a joke. It is a genuine chemical weapon. Sperm whale feces, especially after a squid diet, contains a high concentration of ammonia compounds. The smell is extremely offensive to the sensitive olfactory system of killer whales. But it is not just smell. That red cloud acts as tactical smoke. It blocks vision, interferes with sonar, and irritates the skin and gills of the attacker. A study published in Marine Mammal Science in 2021 showed that when exposed to high concentrations of whale feces, dolphins and killer whales exhibit clear panic behavior. Their heart rate jumps from 40 to over 100 beats per minute, and they do everything to escape the contaminated zone. So in this war, the smaller, weaker opponent, in terms of size and strength, possesses a weapon that the apex predator cannot counter. Chemistry defeats mechanics. But killer whales are not fools. They learn, they adapt, and they have another weapon, even more dangerous than teeth or speed, the brain. Let us talk about intelligence. Killer whales have the second largest brain among marine mammals, behind only the sperm whale, but size is not everything. The structure of their brain, especially the limbic system, is more developed than any other whale species. That means they process social and tactical information at extremely high speed. Watch how they hunt, not a chaotic rush. They use sonar, clicks and echoes, frequencies from 1,000 to 100,000 hertz. These sound pulses bounce off the prey's body, creating a three-dimensional map inside the attacker's head. Killer whales can distinguish bone from muscle, muscle from internal organs. When a pod of killer whales surrounds a group of sperm whales, they do not swim randomly. They coordinate like a special forces team. One group harasses from the front to draw attention. Another group slides in from the side, trying to isolate a calf from the herd. And the largest males wait at the rear, ready to deliver the killing blow. Biologists call this tactic wound and withdraw. Each killer whale rushes in, bites a chunk out of the prey's fin or tail, then immediately backs off to avoid being struck by the sperm whale's massive fluke. Then another one attacks, wave after wave, for hours. The goal is not to kill instantly. The goal is to exhaust the prey, to make it bleed from hundreds of small wounds, until it can no longer defend itself. And on the other side, sperm whales have their own defensive algorithm. The Marguerite formation, the rose. When attacked, the entire sperm whale group moves into a tight circle. All heads pointing inward, tails facing outward, like the petals of a flower, but each petal is a multi-ton fluke ready to smash any approaching enemy. Inside the circle are the calves and wounded individuals. This formation is nearly impenetrable unless the attacker is fast enough to isolate an individual from the outside. But the most astonishing thing is not the formation, it is the sacrifice. Researchers have observed that, in many confrontations, 1 or 2 adult sperm whales will voluntarily leave the Marguerite circle to rush out and protect an isolated calf. They expose themselves to killer whale bites, suffer dozens of wounds, just to push the calf back into the safety of the ring. This is not instinct. This is a conscious decision, a choice to sacrifice oneself for the group. So, who is smarter? That question is probably wrong. A better question: which algorithm works better in this context? But every system has a weakness. Even killer whales fail. Even sperm whales get killed. Look at the 1997 event off the coast of California. A pod of about 35 killer whales attacked a group of 9 sperm whales. The battle lasted 4 hours. The sea turned red with blood. The result? 1 adult sperm whale was killed and eaten. The others were severely wounded. Some researchers believe 1 or 2 more died later from infected wounds. That event completely debunked the old hypothesis that sperm whales were immune to predation. No one is immune, but that is the exception. Most killer whale attacks on sperm whales fail. Biologists estimate the success rate is below 10%. 90% of the time, the sperm whales either drive off the attackers with their tails and punami, or simply swim away faster than the orcas can follow. So when does the killer whale's destruction machine break down? First, when the sperm whales are in a perfect marguerite formation with no isolated calf. Second, when the punami is deployed at the right moment, creating an impenetrable wall of contamination. Third, most importantly, when the target is a healthy adult male, a 45-ton bull sperm whale with a tail that could break the bones of 5 killer whales at once is almost never attacked. And if it is, it usually wins. But there is another breaking point, less known: when humans interfere. Scientists from the University of British Columbia have discovered that noise from ships and military sonar disrupts the echolocation of both species. When they cannot use sonar, killer whales lose their greatest tactical advantage, and sperm whales, which rely on sound to maintain the marguerite formation, become chaotic. In a noisy environment, neither side wins. Both get hurt. And that is when humans, the outsiders, accidentally become the ones who decide the outcome. So, after all the numbers, the bites, the tail strikes, and the poop bombs, what do we learn? The killer whale is not the perfect predator. It is too small to beat a healthy adult sperm whale in a fair one-on-one fight. The sperm whale is not an invincible prey. If separated from its pod or attacked by a large enough pack, it will die. But what truly makes the difference, what defines the dominant force in this ocean, is not muscle, teeth, or feces. It is the ability to make calculated risks. The killer whale attacks a prey 5 times its weight, only when it knows the odds are high enough. It does not fight recklessly. It fights with tactics, patience, and by waiting for the opponent to make a mistake. And the sperm whale, despite its slowness, survives millions of years of evolution because it invented a chemical weapon, and because it is willing to sacrifice itself for the group. Do you see? This battle is not just about survival. It is a lesson in strategy. It is a lesson in strategy, about when to attack, when to defend, and when to unleash a massive cloud of feces into your enemy's face. Look at the ocean. It is not a chaotic battlefield. It is a chessboard. Every species has its own pieces, and the best move, often, is the one your opponent least expects, even if it is a poop bomb. If you want to explore more of the greatest confrontations in the natural world, where the underdog can still win, leave a comment below. Share this video with a friend who loves the ocean or wildlife, and do not forget to subscribe. Hit the bell icon so you do not miss the next episode. In the next one, we will leave the ocean, fly up to the sky, and find the most dangerous bird of prey on the planet. Not an eagle, not a hawk, something much smaller, but 100 times more deadly. Thank you for listening. And remember, in nature, there is no absolute winner, only those who refuse to surrender.